Better Way Electronics archives. We're looking at archive today, which in this case is listed as archive.ph for betterwayelectronics.com.au, and I'm looking at the virus page. Information on false positives. Ironically, help me, my antivirus says your program is a Trojan or something. The protection I use against reverse engineering and piracy. Reverse engineering is not piracy. As I've said about distros, as I call them, of really old pieces of software like the video game Rust, now called Rust Legacy, when we download it, we need to have a level of transparency even more so after it's no longer supported by the company. But during a period of time when you're using something you're paying money for, absolutely any argument you get out of the creator of the software is irrelevant compared to, I'm protecting my computer from you. Irony. Anyway, here we are. He's talking about stuff, and of course the prerequisite cartoon kid. Over here we have some critters smacking on a keyboard angrily. I call that cat-like typing. Then we go over here. We have the Better Way Electronics FAQ, frequently asked questions. Do you speak Arabic? Do you speak French? Do you speak Spanish? Can I buy some programs for PS2? Blah, blah. I have a shop on, blah, blah, activate my yada, yada. And here are our price tags, $155, $168. Why don't you just call it $170? You can get some free apps, okay? And this is as of what date? May 20th or March 17th, 2025. Well, you get the idea if you're looking at the time and date stamp. Some of these things are things I just finished archiving here. Archiving things on archive.org isn't always going to work because they will acknowledge a takedown demand from someone who's a crybaby. Here we are, the product comparison, which means that you can look at the product comparison, apparently his own products or maybe other people's products. A product comparison on his page, if he was being really generous, which he should be at this point, should tell you about all his competitors that are trying to not reverse engineer him, but do the same damn thing. Next, we have Syscon Guide, SCE Syscon Method. This is a redirect page. Originally, it went to just syscon.html. He created a redirect at one point. And here is the information here. And anyway, let's see. So, is it really reverse engineering if we just figure out how you did it and make, forking? Because Better Way Electronics, aka whatever your name is this week, you're changing it to, but you're probably going to keep using this cartoon character. You know that we're allowed to fork. We have the right to fork, create our own versions, while giving you full credit. And at this point, yeah. By the way, interesting soldering jobs. Yes, I appreciate the instructions on proper soldering of, work, and that's useful information. We could learn from that. And this is where I got my thumbnail for my video, partially, along with this one here and, here. So, this is a person who reverse engineered someone else's corporate product, came up with an anti-corporate product, and is complaining about, what were you saying again? Reverse engineering and piracy? Because are you equating reverse engineering your work with piracy? Because your entire business acumen is based on you reverse engineering, like, PlayStations. So here we are with this one. This page here, archived. And there's, there should be many, 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 many more, right? Terms and conditions. Oh, God, I'm not going to go through this. Here is the Better Way Electronics. Run the latest version of these apps on your browser. Archive of webtools.bwe.dev. Now, I'm sure the free tools running as a web page would tell you a lot about the guy's programming style. I think that's a good idea. I might even create archives of these, and maybe they'll be available. Now let's go forward to the archive stack. This is archive.today, and this is what it has, and it lists that it has a certain number of URLs. This is one version of how to type in the query. Anyway, let's move on. And apparently one time the website was just a placeholder page. That's one where we have https://. But if we go to this one with a www dot, we get a slightly different and shorter list. Archive today is sensitive about the prefixing. If it's HTTP or HTTPS, if it's World Wide Web or blank space. It lets you do some wildcards, but you can't put a wildcard in front of the word better way so that we can get all of them in one shot. Here's one for webtools.bwe.dev, and that's where I got that screenshot from you saw. This is one I only found by looking up all of the domain names, quote-unquote, websites. What I did is I typed in site:betterwayelectronics.com.au, and I got a list, and I found 4 new ones that you might not have known about. This is the index page as indicated by the index here, and it's actually the index page. And it has this character. The word insipid is done in ASCII art, which kind of makes me wonder if this is the character's name is insipid. Then we go here on the About Me. It just has the person twirling wine with glasses. And then About You, it tells you your IP address, your host name, your browser's Chrome, your operating system's Windows 10, user agent, however, is Mozilla version 5 subset, which is generic, it can be in anything, Apple WebKit, Gecko, Chrome, Safari. If you're not aware of it, this is because archive.today is using that as its data. Contact. I'm not even sure. So anyway, here we are back here where he says, reverse engineering and piracy, I'm using my software against that. When his entire product thing is reverse engineering he did, and it's called piracy by the company that the software is used kind of against. Anyway, I thought everybody would be, maybe liking having the archive listings through Archive Today. I'll also include archive.org where I can put in betterwayelectronics.com.au, and it'll bring up all of the other missing pages, I suppose, right? I also want to point out that there may be several subdomains where it's BWE or Better Way Electronics that like .com some other thing. So, we have to go look for those, I guess. And in all of these, you can find useful data about the subject matter. And yes, somebody should reverse engineer the work just to get rid of the malware this person claimed was, again, just to prevent reverse engineering and piracy, and release it. Sort of like what had to be done eventually to make it to where we could play Rust Legacy by the only one that would work, which was to use pirated versions. I'm not advocating for piracy. I really am not, even though, honestly, in this guy's case, everybody might want to make an exception. What I'm saying is pot and kettle at this point, number one. Number two, sometimes the only way you can use a piece of software you spent money on after the company has decided to abandon it is to do the thing they would call reverse engineering and piracy. But really, I prefer to refer to it as forking them over. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll all need it.